We have a program now that has a main and a get args, and this is pretty good, and it's passing our test suite. But there's still a few things about it that aren't quite as they should be, not really quite up to community standards. To make this program better, I'm going to introduce you to a couple of tools that will check your program for both style and errors. They're called Flake 8 and Pylint. And I'm also going to be using a code formatter called YAPF. That stands for Yet Another Python Formatter. If I look here, I can see now that um, my VS Code is showing me that I have some problems, and I can actually use the Flake 8 program on my hello to see what it thinks are some of the problems. So it's, for instance, it doesn't like that line 6, it says it expects 2 blank lines here before this function. It's saying on line 8, this line is too long. It says that it wants 2 blank lines after each function definition. There's no new line at the end of the file. So that's what Flake 8 is complaining about. I can also use something called Pylint on hello.py, and this is also complaining about missing a final new line. It's also complaining about missing doc strings, both on line 1, like it wants a document string here for the whole program, and also doc strings for the functions themselves on line 6 and line 11. So some of these problems are going to go away when I format my code. So in VS Code, I can do Shift Option F, and that actually runs the program through the YAPF program, yet another Python formatter. And you see that immediately my program looks quite a bit different. I really enjoy the way it has lined up these options, and I think the code just in general looks a lot better. I'm going to save that, and again, I'm going to go back to my test suite. Does everything still work? Yes, that didn't change anything about the way my program runs, it just made it look prettier. Now we're still missing doc strings. The way we add those is to go right here, and we can add just a comment. It's very common to use the triple quotes to add string doc strings because they can span multiple lines like this. I can add a doc string. I can say get the command line arguments. Since it's actually just one line, I often will put it just on one line, even though I'm using the multi-line triple quote. So I can save that, and I will do the same thing here for main. I can call this just main. There's really not much else to say. Most people would understand that's a main function. And the other doc string that's missing is really the one up here for the whole program. So I can change this comment to a multi-line comment, and it would often I would probably put up here like that, what is the purpose of this script? The purpose is to say hello, and I would say the author is myself. And I would usually put my email address, and I might even put the date on which I wrote this, just so that if someone else encountered this program, they would know when it was written, what it was written for, who wrote it, how to contact me. So this is looking pretty good. Let's see the problems. It's still saying missing final new line. So I think that we can just do that. Great, and no problems have been detected. We can also go back and we can run Pylint on our program. Let's see if it says anything. No improvements that it can come up with. Let's see what Flake 8 has to say. Hello.py. Nothing from Flake 8. So all of the linters say that this program looks pretty good. Does it still work and do what it's supposed to do? Let's run make test to make sure. Yes. So all we've done is just to make our program a lot prettier. It's much more documented. So part of the documentation is actually coming from being able to run the program, like hello --help. That is documentation for the user. But inside the program, for the person who needs to modify the program, there's additional documentation that allows us to see what's going on and help us to understand the program. Another thing that helps a person understand the program is just it being formatted in a way that's consistent with community standards. So by using tools like YAPF or Black, I'm formatting the code in a way that other Python programmers would be able to immediately read and understand very quickly. And all that's very important for when you start to share your code with other people.